Okay, so it's been a while since I put this up for Lightfastness test, and we're going to see what's happened. So these are the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, all these 3 pieces of paper, and these 2 are also Kuretake Gansai Tambi. These are beam paints, and this one is Schmincke, this is Lukas, and this is Lukas. So let's see what has happened here. And we may need to zoom in a little bit to see. So it's not surprise the Kuretake are all fading or experiencing a color shift. So these were exposed to sun and these were kept inside a drawer. This one is more vibrant and saturated, so is this one, so is this one, and I haven't explained how these swatches work. So these are the exposed swatches. This is mass tone and this is diluted. So as you can see, the diluted swatches appear to be way weaker. The yellows are doing fine, the ochre is fine, all the reds have changed, and the yellows appear to be doing fine. Now let's see the greens. So as for the greens, I don't really see much change. Honestly, I see perhaps this one is weaker, and maybe this one here on the diluted swatch. But the only one I've seen change is this malachite, or however you say it in English, green. Sorry for the camera shake. So, as you can see, this one is disappearing, it's vanishing, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but this one, the one that was exposed to sun, appears to be grayish, and it's dull now. And this one is way more vibrant. For the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, it's been a week. 2 weeks, actually, no, since I've put them in the sun, direct sunlight, and outdoors. They were on top of my roof, receiving summer sunlight on the center of Spain, so they receive a lot of strong sunlight, 24 hours a day. So the blues. Oh, dogs. The blues haven't changed much, which is cool and nice, and it's something I've seen on other people's Lightfast tests for the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints, and something that has surprised me a lot are the purples. So this one is way weaker, and it's less vibrant, only in the diluted swatch. But yeah, it's not a great change. This one, the maroon color, is vanishing and has lost its vibrancy even on the mass tone, and this one hasn't changed. As for the last swatches, let me see if I can get... So the Kuretake brown hasn't changed, the black hasn't changed, and the beam paints, this is pumping, a color that I love, hasn't changed. Rubens egg hasn't changed, ice blue hasn't changed, and lavender has changed a bit on the diluted tone, but I think it's not me. I think this one was my cat because of the scratch. He may have scrubbed the paint away. So, and forgive me because I forgot I had swatched this on older swatches for Lightfast test. So these 4 are, you can see them twice. As for this one is Mother Lake Light by Schmincke, and this one has been 2 weeks exposed to sun, and it's fading. And it was really expensive. Expensive doesn't mean Lightfast, but yeah, I think it's a pigment PR 48 column 4. I didn't note it here, I forgot, and yet it's fading, so I don't recommend you use it for florals, even if the diluted tint is really beautiful and looks, and can look nice for petals and blooms and flowers. So this one is Genuine Rose by Lukas, which is a color that's beautiful, that's really pretty, and I forgot the pigment, and I don't want to mess it up, but I think it was PR 122, and it was the weirdest version of this pigment, if I recall correctly. And it's fading, 2 weeks, and even the mass tone appears to be dull and grayish, and this one is disappearing. And as for Lukas Prussian Blue, I haven't seen any change so far. So let me put them aside, and let's take a look at the big ones, the big boys. So hold on, these were some handmade watercolors I bought on AliExpress. that didn't really disclose pigment information, which is a big mistake. Never buy watercolors that don't disclose pigment information. You need that to know if your paintings will last and will be there for years. So this is dramatic. This one is the original color. This one exposed to sun for 1 or 2 months. It turned brown the first 3 weeks, actually. This one is disappearing. This one, it was green and it turned blue, and now it's vanishing on the diluted swatch. These two are turning gray. This one not as much. But I'm guessing these all are from dyes rather than pigments. They're all suffering a lot from sun exposure. This raw amber is also disappearing and losing strength. This one turned from green to blue and now it's vanishing. So they're all experiencing color shifts and fading. This one is handmade by me, ultramarine violet, and it's the classic pigment for ultramarine violet. And yeah, 2 months is the same. So now you see, this is Bordeaux red. I don't know how to say that in English. Bordeaux red from White Nights. And yeah, I don't know if you can see, but and right under it you can see Bordeaux red, handmade by me. It has lost a bit of its vibrancy and it's a tiny bit less saturated. This is dioxazine pink, a weird variant of PV23, which is dioxazine violet commonly, and it just has lost a bit of his vibrancy. This color here, 2 months, it's like nothing has been ever painted here. Ooh. This monoazoic red, it's also slowly fading in the diluted swatch. This is Bronze Genuine by Daniel Smith. It has experienced no changes. Opera Pink by Winsor Newton. I must say I'm really impressed by Opera Pink. It started to change 3 or 4 days ago. It lasted a month without any changes, and I was impressed. This is Dioxazine Violet by Winsor Newton, which looks the same. Now we'll get into the interesting ones. So, Green Apatite Genuine by Daniel Smith didn't change, and Moonglow did change. Let's see if camera can pick it up. So, this is the original. Fucking motors. This one looks way more reddish and warmer than the one that's been exposed to sun, that's losing its red undertones. And that makes sense because PR 177 is not light fast, as many artists have discovered by doing swatches, especially lately with this Moonglow and Daniel Smith controversy. CSY Light Genuine hasn't changed. Maybe this one has lost a bit of grayish. No, it hasn't changed. Saguaro Green hasn't changed. Mayan Red hasn't changed. Vermilion Red by Sennelier hasn't changed. And this is Naphthol Green, PG8. And it has lost a tiny bit of vibrancy in the diluted swatch, but it's almost nothing. And this has me baffled and shocked. This is Benzimidazole Orange, PO36. And I've read and I know it's not light fast, but it's been exposed to direct sunlight for 2 months and it hasn't changed. And I know from Kimberly Creek that it does fade almost as this one does. So I don't understand anything, and I think it may start fading from now on. I don't know, but it hasn't changed. So now, these are Paul Rubens. Paul Rubens Yellow Ochre, this one, Paul Rubens Yellow Ochre, and Amber. Amber has lost its vibrancy, it's less warm. Burnt Brown looks the same, Coal Black looks the same, so those paints gray. And this is Piemontite Genuine by Daniel Smith, and Mayan Blue Genuine. And they haven't changed, which is okay, and makes me happy because I love these colors. More Paul Rubens. They look the same, the Paul Rubens. And again, it makes me really happy because I use them a lot. They look the same, the Paul Rubens, no changes. And these are beam paints. And I'm a little bit sad about beam paints. Let's see, we'll find out. So you remember some swatches appear done twice. These are older swatches, so we can see changes. These have been kept. These have been exposed to sun. So, you see pumping. Pumping has lost a lot of its vibrancy, and it's due to PR 170. 177. This pigment here. Okay, because it's not light fast. Let me see if I can make it more apparent. Okay. It's dulling down and it's fading here. You see, this one is redder, this one is dulling down, and the pigment red that's on pumping, it's affecting the mix of pumping, so pumping now, it's fading. Cherry red looks the same, so it's just this summer red pigment which is giving us a problem, and it's a problem because many of these have cherry red. Many of these convenience colors, this one bread and this one morning peach ochre and pumping, they all have the same red pigment. And it's starting to show changes after 2 months. It's not like fast. And Mayan Indigo from Beam Paints. The rest, they all look the same, they haven't changed. But Mayan Indigo, which by the way I was expecting it to fade because all Mayan colors and indigos that are natural pigments and dyes, they all fade. It's not a stable light fast pigment. It's even fading here. It's hard to see on camera, but this one appears to be less intense, less deep. How do you say that? Yeah, less deep. And these are Rosa Gallery, which has been a surprise for me because they appear to be using brighteners, and the version that has been exposed to sun has lost these brighteners to the sun or something. Because this one, the colors look the same in hue, but they look a bit less vibrant, a tiny bit less vibrant, especially the Indantron. This is Indantron blue, I don't know, Indantrencini, and it's PP60. This one that has been kept. Oh, why does it look black on camera? This one looks more blue, more electric, and this one looks a bit more dull, just a tiny bit, just as indigo. The cobalt turquoise look the same. More Rosa Gallery. The cadmium yellow looks the same. The golden yellow looks the same. The cadmium red looks the same. And the burnt sienna looks the same. Maybe this one is a bit less bright. So yeah, these are my Lightfast tests after 2 months, and this after 2 weeks. Oops. And yeah, I'll update you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.